Ghana to the world. Ghana to the world. Qatar, here we come. And of course, we've qualified to the World Cup for the fourth time tonight. And it's sweet because we came up against Nigeria, our most bitter rivals, and we beat them to it on their own turf. That's what makes this very, very exciting. And you can see proudly wearing the colors of the national team, and the players wore this today. They wore the red, the gold, the green, and the black star today. If you are not already doing this in your homes, then of course there's something really, really wrong about your patriotism. And we are going to Qatar. It's a lot of joy for many people. On the day when the e-levy was passed, but as you may know by now, many Ghanaians are jubilating on the street in spite of the complaint they have about the e-levy, because football brings us all together. I have said that the value of the Black Stars qualifying, it's immeasurable. It brings a lot of joy. Just watch the videos you've seen. You may have heard the car horns honking, people just jubilating. It's not as if the economic crisis is over. It's just because you're excited that Black Stars have made us proud against Nigeria. Maybe if it wasn't against Nigeria, maybe we would not be this excited, but it's against Nigeria. And so here it is. This is a done deal now. The boys are going to the World Cup. Of course, if he's doing well, he may feature, but certainly these two made us proud on the pitch. He scored the goal, by the way, if you're watching today, Thomas Partey. And the Arsenal supporters like Gary are excited. Now, one of their own, make sure that we qualify to the World Cup. We're going to be talking about this today. We're going to go to Nigeria because there's a lot happening in Nigeria I want to update you on. I'm crossing over to our Nigerian colleagues shortly. But of course, as we see, if you didn't watch the game, it ended 1-1. And you'll be wondering, 1-1, well, how come we qualify? Because we scored an away goal. And that counts for a lot. The Nigerians only managed to get a penalty. That's the only way they got it in. And some say a very dubious penalty indeed. They could even score us through proper play. I mean, they got one terrible offside goal, just so offside that you don't need. It was like China and Ghana, Tamale and Accra. You could see this clearly offside. It took 2 minutes to make that decision. And then at the end of the day, we won. Good goal, by the way, good goal. And you could just have some pity for the Nigerian goalkeeper who allowed the ball to sneak in there. So that's the score line. When it came to Accra, it was 0-0. You know this by now. And so we are through to the World Cup. But there are other key important matches being played today. And the most important one for many, apart from obviously the Nigeria-Ghana game, is Senegal-Egypt. And as we know, Senegal is through at the expense of Egypt. And the interesting thing about this game is that Sadio Mane scored his penalty, and that ensured that they went through. And guess who missed his? That is the Egyptian god himself, right? He missed this, and you know him. He plays for Liverpool. Both of them play for Liverpool. And Mo Salah misses penalty. And as a result of that, the Egyptians are out and the Senegalese are through. There are other games being played. South Africa, I understand, is struggling themselves. So we'll get through all that for you tonight. But listen, we don't care about everything else. We only care about our boys who've made us proud tonight. I'm going straight to our panelists who are joining us already. In the studio is Gary Al Smith. Also joining us is a man you've seen on this set many, many times joining us. So we're going to be going to Nigeria. I want to go to Nigeria pretty quickly, very shortly. And Nigerian journalist Remy Sulola is joining us right now. Hello, Remy. Thank you for joining us here on PMXS. We'll also be joined by Sani Dara. Of course, he is a former spokesperson for the GFA. We'll be joined by Nana Jiman, who is coach. We'll try and see if we can get the GFA spokesperson to join. I saw him on the pitch after we won, and so I'm sure he's jubilating. My colleague Georgia Jr. was commentating for us in the stadium, and I will also join us. But let me go to Remy, who's a Nigerian journalist. We have to start from that place. Hello, Remy. Commiserations to you. Is it laughter I see on your face, or it's tears hidden behind those broad smile and laughter of yours? What really happened today?
No tears at all. Let's just say, just like what we experienced at the AFCON, just tactical ineptitude from the technical crew. That's just the way I say it. Because from both legs, Kumasi, Abuja, it was just Ghana was far, far better off tactically, and that was what won Ghana the game. So that's just it. For me, I'm not surprised, and I'm not even shocked about the results. So I wasn't that expecting my team to really fly because you can't give what you don't have. That's just the way it is. Truth must be the truth must be said. So there you have it. So it's painful, but I'm not surprised about Ghana going to the World Cup. So
Okay, I mean,
that's
very
it for me.
interesting you say that. You know what? I support a team that is struggling recently. They are called Manchester United, and that's exactly what I do when I know that we are we are going to lose. You start preparing psychologically for it. Oh, I know we are going to lose, and then when they lose, it's a good. I do that all the
Oh,
time,
you Ghanaians
as if I
didn't
don't
even
care, but I
support
really care.
you,
If we
you
had won, we'd
Ghanaians
have
did not even
jubilated.
support your team. I'll jubilate, but I know that we might not really get a good result there in Doha. So still the same thing. We need to work on our team.
Let's stay with me. Let me cross over to Nigeria now, and I want to bring in Babatunde Koiki. Babatunde is a Nigerian sports journalist, and of course, Babatunde, were you in the stadium tonight? Okay, we lost Babatunde. As you may imagine, there's a lot happening in Nigeria tonight, and that may include that the people are so upset. As you see, do you have the videos of what was happening in the stadium? Because I want to show them. Let's watch what was happening in the stadium a short while ago. The Nigerians were very upset.
I don't think the people told us to house.
So that is what was happening. Tear gas being fired. They're so disappointed that they're tearing apart their own stadium. Let's start there. We'll get to Babatunde very shortly. He's a Nigerian journalist very shortly. We'll get to speak to Dana Jiman and also bring in the Babatunde. I understand is on. Hello, Babatunde. Hello, Baba. Okay.
Yeah,
Baba.
I'm here.
Great, Baba. Great that you could join me. Baba, let's start with the videos we were just watching a short while ago. We're just hearing that in the stadium in Nigeria, Abuja, the fans, as you see there on your screen, were so upset that they went rioting and the tear gas had to be fired. What more do we know about this?
Yeah, from what I was made aware of,
Wow.
Nigerian fans, it was a capacity stadium, it was a capacity crowd, 60,000 fans in the stadium. We haven't seen that kind of crowd at the Abuja National Stadium in over a decade. I'm even hearing from what reports I got, there are more than also an equal number outside the stadium as well. I think the security officials were basically overwhelmed. They didn't expect to have this kind of crowd, and unfortunately, the Nigerian fans after the game was played, they were not happy with the result, and they decided to vent their anger on the players. Hello.
I can hear you, Babatunde. So that they are confirming that. I hope we don't have any injuries reported as a result of what we've seen today.
So far, so good. We haven't gotten any official reports regarding injuries, but in this kind of situation, you can only hope and pray that it doesn't escalate. But it's not pleasant scenes in Abuja. I can tell you that.
Babatunde's connection. Babatunde, see if you can adjust the connection for me so we can, because I want you to stay with me. Let me bring in Gary and let me bring in a good friend of this show, joining us, Jerome Motri, in the studio with me also. Jerome, let me start with you. I mean, let's start with the scenes there. I mean, this really terrible scenes from Nigeria.
Yeah, I don't think it's any other things we want to see in a football game. I don't know why the Nigerians would do this because, I mean, after all, it's supposed to be sports. I mean, we don't have to have violence in this despicable fashion. But it is not surprising when people are so passionate about the game, so emotional, and results don't go the way they expect. You would expect them to misbehave, and that's what they are doing. Very unfortunate. I mean, for African football, I mean, this is a game that was being worldwide, and for the world to be seeing this at this stage of football, very, very disappointing, but nothing surprising.
I mean, Gary, maybe we shouldn't be spending time on this. Let's talk about the game itself.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, let's talk about the game itself. We beat them. Well,
I mean, the only thing I think we can talk about is, because it's a largely Ghanaian audience, how our people are. So just before we came on air, the Ghanaian players are fine. We were on radio with George Addo Jr. We couldn't establish contact with him actually during the commentary because of what was happening there. So we took the rest of the radio commentary from a television feed because of the things were heating up. Afterwards, we couldn't get George for 45 minutes.
Wow.
We couldn't get him for 45 minutes. Then we saw our colleagues from other stations tweeting that they were fine. They took a selfie picture. I'll make it available so that people can see. So we got to George, and he narrated what happened. They were saved, the journalists were saved by our colleague, a Nigerian colleague journalist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Oluwashina took them to safety. And they are doing okay. But, I mean, what he described was not great.
Yeah. So they were targeted. The Ghanaian.
No. The fans actually came for the Nigerian players first.
Okay.
They came for their own people.
Okay.
And then when they went, then anybody. So it wasn't like they were targeting it. Like anybody they saw was fair game, and so the Ghanaians players ran. So there was no post-match press conference.
Oh, there wasn't.
There wasn't. Yes, because priority was safety and all that. So they are fine. What we don't know is about the Ghanaian fans who were in the stadium. And we can only hope that, because the Ghanaian embassy has been very active with this game, and we are hoping that we don't hear any bad news. So, yeah.
Okay, I mean, let me bring in Sunny. Sunny has done this work all over the continent and beyond. Sunny, I mean, so what we were just hearing, what else do you know? I know you have your ears on the ground within the FA and CAF. What else are you hearing about this incident there and the safety of our fans who were in the stadium?
Well, I can say that the Ghanaian supporters are safe as we speak now. The match commissioner and the general coordinator for the game has been asked by CAF to provide reports. All of these things have gone viral and global. So you would expect that CAF would ask for a report. And I know with what we've seen and based on previous experiences, there'll be sanctions against Nigeria and perhaps against the MKO Abiola Stadium for the way things went out of hand.
Yeah, let's talk about the game now. I mean, and we're waiting to see what else we can get from our colleagues on this particular situation as it unfolds. Once we get that, we'll bring that to you. But Sunny, let me start with you. I mean, this was a must-win game. Ghana, I have always argued, needed it more than Nigeria because of what we're all suffering in this country and going through. In the end, the boys delivered. I mean, give me your quick professional reaction to what you saw on the pitch today.
Well, 6 weeks ago, when I made a cast iron statement on this show that Otto Addo should be the national team coach of Ghana, at least on temporary basis, before we cleared this World Cup hurdle, I knew, as a matter of fact, that he was really, really competent with a team that was shattered in confidence. I was in Kumasi on Friday and saw that, but for about 2 or 3 players that he injected in the team, it was the same team that played at the African Cup of Nations and embarrassingly crashed out at the group stage and lost against the lowly placed Comoros national team. I knew, as a matter of fact, that if we wanted somebody to whip the side in shape, it was Otto Addo, the man who's proven by the work he's done with the Ghana national team in the past and the work he continues to do with the German side, Borussia Dortmund. And this was exactly what we saw on Friday and exactly what we saw today by the tactics he deployed for the boys to be efficient, not to play to the gallery, but to get the desired result. And it was what we saw today. We saw a team of hungry young men who were ready and willing to put their country first. And this was what they did today. And then it goes to show that when we put the right people at the right places, and crucially, I say this crucially, because it seems that in our country, when you make a statement about the competence of somebody or somebody who deserves to be in a position, you quickly find people who mock the suggestion, perhaps without any knowledge. And I think that as Ghanaians, we should start looking more into some of our people who are excelling out there, who are doing really, really well and working their socks off. An example is Coach Otuado, who has whipped the Black Stars into shape, and they deserve to be at the World Cup. They showed more hunger, more desire over the 2 legs, and I think they deserve to be there.
I mean, Jerome, was it that the Nigerians tanked it on the day, or Ghana was just brilliant over the 2 legs?
I think over the 2 legs we were the best, and the evidence, it's very clear. Once we drew in Kumasi, the Abuja game was open. Okay. And more to the fact that we needed to score to make it difficult for Nigeria to qualify, and we got an early goal. I mean, since morning I've been saying that we didn't have to let Nigeria score first.
Yeah.
If we are able to do that, they are always going to come under pressure, and that's exactly what happened. Once we got a goal, the work was for them to do, and we were able to hold our own against them and get this important result and the qualification at last. I have to say that the talk about Otuado now clearly points to some of the arguments some of us made from the beginning, that Milo was a disaster. Milo was not going to help our World Cup cause. And I am happy that the FA listened. I was even interested in having Otuado and whatever the FA was doing at that time on a long-term basis. Now we don't know what they will do. But as long as we have qualified for the World Cup, I tell you, every decision that they will take, maybe we'll just...
No, and indeed, I'll spend some time about, yes, we've qualified, but we're qualified for a tournament. So what do we do for that tournament? I'll come to that shortly. But we have some exclusive videos now. Ketsi, Gary, Al Smith.
George.
Ajudinia.
So George is fine, but he's not able to speak now.
But he's sending us of Coach Otuado and the FA President Keto Kriku. Let's watch what they've been saying after the match.
Has qualified to the World Cup. What is the feeling like?
Yeah, I'm really delighted, exhausted. It was a tough match. We fight our way through. We had big problems, especially in the first half. And yeah, I think through some changes, the players, it's a players' game that they adapted very well. Still, they had some good chances. Our goalkeeper was there when we needed him. The defensive line was outstanding, and we had a little bit of luck also. Because if you see the chances and everything, and all the Nigerians were better. I feel a bit pity for them, but this is football sometimes, and we fought our way through. I don't know, the referee was against us somehow. It's not. Why I really want to thank, first of all, God for helping us, letting us through to the World Cup. Then secondly, happy birthday to the President of Ghana.
Yes.
And then thank you to Mr. Kurt Okriki for giving me this opportunity. Also to the Baku, who was also always supporting me since I'm a kid. I know it since I'm 13 years old. And then surely we have to give big thanks, because this was only 2 games. So there was a lot of work which was done before. From Milo Raivac and Sike Kona, they all belong to this. We are all in this together. We have to say big thank you for Milo, for Nenad, his assistant, for Sike Kona, and then also for the players who are not here. First, Capito, you done well. You scored so many goals for Ghana. And then all the others. I can't mention all names. Jamal Dean, Baba Rahman, who are all not there. Black Castle, who suffered a lot. I love you guys, and thank you for giving us this opportunity. Thank you for the guys who are here today, who gave all, and thank you for the fans. And thank you very much to the Kumasi fans. Kumasi, I love you. And, the last greetings goes to my boys from Bubashi. I love you too.
Thank you. Heaven knows where we will get there. We will get
There we go.
That was George Ado.
Yeah, because he plays instruments and he's a musician.
He's
himself.
a choir director.
So he was wishing that there's some instrument to yes, that's what I was doing. But there we have it. I want to pick on something that Otuado said. It's about believing that the boys showed a tactical awareness. And I was watching the game and I was thinking, but the boys aren't pressing. But you could from what he said there, it was a strategy. You are playing an away match. You've scored one goal. Why go and try and it's clear what he was doing, right?
It's always risky,
yeah. It's a gamble.
What impressed me, and I wrote it on Twitter when the second half changes came. I wrote, for those who follow me on Twitter, you would have seen it. I said, these are bold calls. You know why?
Which ones?
Yadom, bringing the Yadom. Yeah. If Ghana had not qualified, they would have killed Otuado.
Yeah. Tell us about Yadom. Why was that a big deal?
And the Yadom has been one of our weaknesses at right back.
Okay.
The statistics have not been fair, have not been kind to him as well, because at Reading, where Baba Rahman plays on the left and he plays on the right, they shipped in like 60 goals.
Wow.
Exactly. And Ghanaians, they watch these things. And when since the qualifier started with CK and Milo, he's been called repeatedly and his part of the field has leaked. So generally, I think Ghanaians will be, I would be correct when I say Ghanaians don't really like him around the national team. And so to bring him in for Dennis Odoi, who has had a good 2 games. Also, another sub made was Jordan Ayew off. Yeah. Because Jordan had a decent first half. And for Jordan to be hauled off, Fatau Isahaku was also hauled off.
You see, at the time he did it, the Jordan substitution, I don't remember the last time
any coach
of their Ayew's were taken off
at halftime.
At that time.
I can't remember. Going back,
yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to check the record.
That's a long time. If at all.
So, look, that's why they are the coaches. If he had lost it and you opened the phone lines, he would have been bashed.
Yeah.
It's the nature of the beast. Yeah. Okay. So, look, I don't know what decision the FA will take, but I'm telling everybody, not tonight. Yeah. Sure. Not tonight. Let's give them their...
When you say decision, you're talking about...
because he was... Given this one is interim, just these 2 games. Okay,
hold that thought, because I'm going to reserve quite some time to talk about that. What happens now with the technical team? Let me bring in the only coach on the panel, Nana Ajiman, who is joining us. Nana, you've had your say about the structure that the GFA put in place for this match. You've watched the 2 legs. With watching those 2 legs with your coaching hat on, what was the reason for our qualification? What do you put this down to? This success, what do you put it down to?
Well, it's clear that they were very hungry. They were attentive to all that they were taught by the technical team, because at the first match, there was a story that went out where Otuado says, I hope they do what I taught them. Meanwhile, he'd only had about 3 sessions with them in the past 72 hours, and I was thinking, well, wow, let me see what has been taught. We went out there, we couldn't score a goal. That wasn't so much an issue because we knew we didn't really have that striking ability, but we spared our blushes and we didn't concede a goal. Now in the second game, as Jerome said, it's an open game. We're playing in Nigeria, a lot of pressure is on Nigeria. And once we got that first goal, that turned the pressure up. And from that first goal, when they eventually got the penalty, it was, I don't think it was dubious, it's a penalty, no problem. They put the ball in the back of the net. We were still very disciplined, we were still very calm. People were still sticking to the plan. We were pushing the ball around nicely, we were maintaining possession for good spells, even though we were under pressure from the Nigerians. And I think that the hunger, the desire, and in particular the tactical discipline that was displayed today, and the performance by all the players combined was what took us through. As Gary and Jerome were saying, one of the turning points of the matches was at half time. And I can also remember, just like Gary has referred to, that I put a tweet out that said, yeah, this is a massive roll of the dice and there can be no game blame on this one, or blame game on this one, because this coach is going for it, you know, and he went for it and he got it. So I think he read the game very, very well. Substitutions were fantastic. I was worried when I saw it on the because even this week I said he should stay in Reading, you know, but he came on and he also performed. And so I think these coaches have got one of the most beautifulest headache, because I see them going all the way to the World Cup. I'm not going to hold on until tomorrow. There's no reason to change this fall. There is no reason at all. These are the people who can be given a permanent contract between 2 and 3 years and let's go. Because they've got now 7 months to build a team, and they've used a couple of days to really build what we have now. And look at the impression, a very lasting impression. I've not seen this type of performance since 2010, when we had Apia, Derek Boateng, Asamoah Gyan, Kuju Asamoah. I haven't seen this type of performance.
And you say that also considering that the quality of the players we have today, you can't really compare to the quality of the likes that you mentioned, and yet that should say something about the coaching staff that we have.
Precisely, because they're worlds apart. They are worlds apart. The names I've just mentioned, who we've got now. But look, it's formidable. It's a team that listens and follows the instructions of their coach. They maintain their discipline throughout the game. This was a very tough game, a very tough fixture. And everybody played an individual role that led to the collective success. I mean, 7 months, you just imagine, they've just had a couple of days with them, but 7 months to prepare. Let me tell you, the GFA must support the technical team. Every FIFA-friendly day from now on the World Cup must be filled. It can't be an issue of, we didn't get friendly this time around, which was custom and practice. Every opportunity to assemble the boys must be taken advantage of. We must assemble those boys. And we should also keep a keen eye on what's going on locally as well. You know, because I mean, you look at the 2 teams there, everybody who was there basically played outside of the country. That they were wearing their jersey for. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but what is it we're saying? Our local players are only good enough for Chan or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't think so. So I think they've got a beautiful headache. Who are they going to pick in the final squad? Because the coach mentioned a number of players and said he thanked them all. And some of the players he mentioned, I don't think he needs to call. I think we need to move forward. I think just like the coaches he also mentioned, CK and blah, blah, and whatever, they're no longer there. We are moving forward. So some of the players he mentioned who contributed, I also say Aiko, but that's the end of their...
I mean, great. I'm going to spend some time now to talk about the structure going forward. I'll bring in Sani shortly, but I want to get the Nigerian view on what went wrong on the pitch. Let me bring him Babatunde. Babatunde, so what is the talk in Nigeria? You watched the game, you're a sports journalist. What went wrong in these 2 legs?
First and foremost, I'd like to say good evening to my Ghanaian brothers and sisters and congratulations.
Unfortunately, Babatunde, we're losing you. We're losing you.
Qualifying for the
Okay, Babatunde, forgive me. We'll have to try and see if we can get you on a more stable line, so we can hear you. But let's move on to that conversation. Sani, let me start with you on this. In fact, you started this conversation. So we've qualified now to the World Cup with a technical team that was brought together to do just this, qualify. And the GFA, when they put this forward, told us that we want them to just go in and play these 2 matches, after which we will consider what to do, whether to reshuffle the pack or to maintain the structure. In fact, the view then was Chris Hughton eventually will take over and Otoado will return to Dortmund. Now that we've seen what has transpired, what should happen now?
I think that based on what has happened and the job that Otto and his backroom staff has done, it would be, excuse me to use this word, foolish for us to reinvent the wheel. I would say that it would be prudent for us to give them the opportunity to continue to work with the team until the World Cup. Otto has shown with his backroom staff, I would say, insist that the addition of George Boateng, Masoud Didi Dramani, and Chris Hughton all contributed to this making. So I'd say in the interim, all of them should be maybe contracted or kept in position until after the World Cup. We have a couple of months to go, but in between these couple of months, there are few opportunities for us to play any serious competition. The players will still be with their clubs in Europe, so it will be prudent for us to say that we maintain the same team. We give Otto the opportunity to do what he did. Within that 6 weeks that we spoke here and him being appointed, and the 3 days, just 3 days of training in Kumasi that turned this team to continue to do the work until after the World Cup. He has given us a good base for the future, and I think that it's only wise that at this moment we should not bother ourselves about trying to go through the new process of getting a new coach, and that new process will also drag on and take our attention away from the key thing. And like Coach said, as it stands now, there will be some few FIFA days for friendlies. There will be opportunities, to also scout our opponents, and we should not use this opportunity or these days to bother ourselves about getting a new coach, but we should bother ourselves about invigorating the squad, perhaps with more fresh blood, and inject them with some of the players that were not there to ensure that we go to the World Cup and give a good account of ourselves.
I mean, Jerome, the problem though is Otto has a contract still, if I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, with Dortmund. Yeah. And so my understanding at the time was that he can do these two matches, but then of course he has to return. Isn't that a problem? I mean, how do you resolve that?
I don't think it should be a problem at this stage, because now after the qualification, if we are going to have any games at all, it should be in June. Yep. That is the AFCON qualifiers, and the World Cup is in November. It will be important for the FA to maybe re-engage him, sit and discuss what the Black Stars program is and how he can fit in if his club will allow him. I personally was not in support of that part-time business arrangement under Milo. But this time, if he cannot, and I will still stand by this position that he shouldn't leave Dortmund. But if he won't leave Dortmund, then there should be an arrangement in such a way that we can still have him around with Chris Hughton, Didi, and George Boateng. Now there are 3. So Otto can, do whatever he's doing in Germany. And when there is a match, he will come on. Gary made a point earlier on about not taking decisions when you are happy like this. Yeah. Very important.
Calm down.
Very important.
Yeah, well, if you ask Manchester United supporters, we'll tell you that after we won against PSG, a certain Ole Gunnar Solskjaer won against PSG in France, all of us said, "Oh, give Ole the job, let him sign
behind the wheel,
and then we gave him the thing."
Yeah, and then
so we know this very well.
It's very important not to take decisions like that now. But if you look at the time left for the World Cup, if you look at the other assignments the team would have to take, definitely, like Sani said, it will not be wise to get rid of him just because he was signed for the interim.
No, but Gary, this is the problem though. All the teams that we're going to play against in the World Cup, none of them, correct me, none of them has a part-time coach. I mean, so if you say you shouldn't leave Dortmund, But should he leave Dortmund though? Shouldn't we ask him that question now so that he comes full time? He can't be one leg in, one leg out. Yes, he's qualified 2 legs, but the World Cup is a whole different animal.
See how I'm looking at you. Do you know what there's a certain language we all understand.
Yeah.
It's speak to him and give him a reason to.
Okay. Yeah. But isn't the World Cup enough reason?
No, that's what I'm saying. But it's not just about the World Cup.
It should be beyond the World Cup.
It's about
what else is there? The World Cup.
What else is there? He's building a team. He goes to the World Cup.
Yeah.
He needs guarantees.
Well,
the number one reason why, and maybe Sunny is here, he can tell you. The number one reason why we didn't have Otto at the AFCON, following what largely many people knew was an integral role in that South Africa. He had He was part of 2 games, I think.
Yeah.
Why didn't we have him at the AFCON? Because he was doing Dortmund work.
Yeah.
But if we spoke a certain language to him.
What language is it? What language should that be?
No, give him an offer he can't refuse. And I'm not talking about money.
Yeah. Okay.
There are some people for whom it's not about money only.
Exactly.
Money is important. Yeah. But there are some people, like in your work, in my work, I want to see, as we say, a growth path. I want to see a clear path of, what are you doing for me long term? Because you can pay him $1 million. But if he goes to the World Cup and he, whatever position he gets to, and he finishes, and you sack him, is he going to Dortmund?
But he will understand this football is about performance.
No, so that's what I'm saying. Whatever it is, I have said, it is definitely not tonight we should be having this discussion.
No, I know. I mean,
No. So I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes. Even we need to be, because you don't know what his plan is with Dortmund.
Yeah.
Because remember, his role in Dortmund is very, very strategic. He works with the youth. He's the bridge between the youth and the whatnot. So there's a plan, 1-year plan, 2-year plan, 3-year plan. So you have to speak to him. You speak to him, he says, this is what I'm doing here. What is your vision? So now the FA have to communicate to him what their vision of the Black Stars is. He says, this is my vision of the Black Stars based on the 2 games I have played. Can we have some congruence? If we can, then we talk about money. Do you get my point?
Yeah, I get your point.
Exactly. So it's not just about the World Cup.
But whatever it is, we are in a very good place because we have good coaches, right? We have so many of them. We have Chris Hutton in the background. And the question, I'll come back to Nana Jiman very shortly on the question. I mean, so if we don't know what's going to happen going forward, but because you have Chris there, is this fatal to say, okay, Chris now takes the lead, and then Otto can do his Dortmund gig if indeed he can give that up? I mean, and should he give that up? I mean, we'll talk about that very shortly, but I want to quickly bring in Babatunde because I wanted to get a Nigerian view on what happened, and he's back on the telephone line because we were struggling with the Zoom. And very quickly, Babatunde, so you were telling me, from a Nigerian point of view, what went wrong in these 2 games?
Yeah, first and foremost, congratulations to my Ghanaian brothers and sisters. I know Gary is exceedingly happy. All I can say is that Ghana absolutely deserved this win. Over 2 legs, I would say that there was not really much to choose between both teams. Today's game was particularly poor. Wasn't exactly a good representation for the quality that both teams are capable of. I think they were both overawed by the occasion and the fact that
yes. What time are we?
Ghana were. I beg your pardon? Hello?
Yes, I can hear Babatunde.
Yes, I was saying that Ghana were not exactly better than Nigeria, but I would say they were 100% disciplined and they played an excellent and very effective game plan. In a game whereby they had only 2 shots on target, they made 1 count. That's 50% shooting. That's very, very effective. And the substitutions that Otto Addo made, like Gary said, they were very, very brave. Bringing in Owusu, Kere, Yadom, and the start of the second half was a master stroke. And I think their inability to react to that also cost Nigeria the game. The Nigerian team also did not play up to their potential. They lacked a proper cutting edge. They lacked ideas. A friend of mine called me after the game and was asking what exactly was Nigeria's strategy in this game as regarding how to open up the Ghanaian defense. And I honestly cannot tell you that I could see one.
You see, football is very easy when you break it down to bare minimum. It's all about breaking down the opposition defense and trying not to concede. And how do you break down the opposition defense? You either go around it, you go through it, or you go above it. And today we do not know which pattern the Nigerian team was trying to use, whether they were trying to go above or through the line or around the line. So I think Nigeria have only themselves to blame. They didn't play as well as they should. But congratulations to Ghana. A lot of players stepped up to the plate today. One of them happens to be the central defender, Jiku. I was really, really huge. I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm looking at a light-skinned, someone who took before. He was top tackling. His positioning was superb. He read the game very well, and he marshaled that defense brilliantly. Mensah, the left back, was also brilliant as well. Mohamed Kudus was also a handful, and I cannot say enough about Thomas Partey. Thomas Partey reminds me of the legendary Theodoros Zagorakis, who led Greece to the European Championship a few years ago. And this Ghanaian team reminds me of that team. Not exactly high on talent, but very, very high on grit and discipline. So congratulations to Ghana.
Yeah, and finally, Babatunde, what's the talk in Nigeria about what will happen to your coach and your technical team? Is Ogavon staying?
Oh, wow. Trust me, United is the light of the long night, as it were. Lots of discrimination going around everywhere. Because a lot of people are now calling for the head of the entire Nigeria Football Federation board and also calling for the head of the technical crew. And they are basing it on the fact that the former coach, Genoflo, while he may not have been the favorite of a lot of people, he did very well with the Nigerian national team. He qualified them for a FIFA World Cup and also took them to a podium finish at the Africa Cup of Nations. But recently, ever since he was fired, Nigeria had its worst showing at an Africa World Cup of Nations in 40 years, couldn't get to any of the podium places, couldn't get to the semi-final, and also couldn't qualify for a FIFA World Cup. So right now, there's a lot of discriminations going on. People are calling that the entire board of the NFF should honorably resign. I don't think that's going to happen. But also, the coaching crew are also coming under a lot of flack as well. But the players themselves must also take a lot of the blame as well. These are seasoned professionals. And in 2 legs, we could not see a perfect delivery from a Nigerian national team. I mean, this is a Nigerian national team. In 3 games now, have not scored a goal in open play. They only resorted to scoring from the penalty spot. Yeah. And as far as I'm concerned, I also tweeted this today. I think the entire national team should actually go for an industrial attachment with either DHL or UPS to learn how to perfect their delivery system because they were very, very poor.
Babatunde, thank you very much. I'm going to take a quick break. When I return, I'll get my panelists' thoughts on that conversation about, so what about the players, the squad that we have? What do we do with them? Should we keep the same crop or add different team members to it? And who else is available to finish this team for us going forward? How do we keep them until Qatar in December? We'll talk about that very shortly. We're not still done with what should happen with this small problem we have with Otoado's Dortmund conversation. I'll pick Nanajiman's thoughts on that when we return. Stay with me because we're talking about the players and the squad going to Qatar and what we should do with the team that we have right now. Thanks for staying with us. Of course, Ghana is in Qatar. Not one leg, both legs there. We've qualified and we'll be representing Africa together with 4 other countries in the games in the tournament in Qatar. It's very exciting. And there are many people who have been born over the last few years who have never seen Ghana play in the World Cup. They'll be looking forward to it, my son included, of course. And so he'll be very excited indeed. It's a big deal, trust me. Nothing sells Ghana more than Ghana playing the World Cup. Remember 2010? This is a big deal, absolutely big deal. Let me bring in Nana Jima. I have a stellar panel discussing this. And then I have give me a quick thought on this, because there's this conundrum that I'm trying to get thoughts on the coaching thing. I've heard both, Sani Jerome all say don't make any change yet. But I threw up that, that challenge of Otto still having commitments with Dortmund. Can we afford to have a part-time coach in going to the World Cup, or should we change the roles and say Chris should now take the lead? That then allows Otto to do his thing in the background. What do you say very quickly, because I want to talk about the players.
Yeah, it's a big one. That, I mean, you can't have a part-time coach. That's out. There's no two ways about that. I think for me as Otto Addo, you take a chance, you take a risk. He rolled the dice at half-time. He rolled the dice in his lineup, right? Roll the dice on your own professional career. Now you have an opportunity to lead the Ghana Black Stars to the World Cup. It's the biggest dream possible, the biggest dream, much bigger than Dortmund. Now you need the type of contract that gives you some security. And normally the type of security that comes with it is that, if we dismiss you within this length of time, then we must compensate you with this amount of money. And I think that's where the buck stops. I think it is about the money, because he's a learned coach. He can move on from here, may not be as big as Dortmund, but he can move on. He's cut his teeth. He's qualified a country for the World Cup. There are millions of coaches all over the place, and the vast majority have never qualified a senior national team to a World Cup. There's nothing bigger. He must be given the package that best suits him and best fits him. All of them should, and he should be encouraged to stay. Look, the people at Dortmund have got to be able to understand that, look, our assistant coach or whatever the role is he plays has qualified a national team to the World Cup. They can't expect him to come back to Dortmund now, can they, really? Which one of them would do that? If they qualified Germany to the World Cup, would say, oh, sorry, I can't do that job because I'm at Dortmund. No chance. He must be given a beautiful package. All of them must be given a beautiful package and encouraged to stay. We can talk about Dortmund if he still wants to be there. There can be some clauses or whatever. If he gets sacked or whatever within this time, he can filter his way back into Dortmund. There's lots of different scenarios that can be worked out. But for us, despite the euphoria, I'm happy with the technical team that we have.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about the playing body. Let's talk about the players now. Sonny, let me bring you in on this. Should we keep the squad as we have it right now, simply for the World Cup, or should we make some changes? And where would you make the change if you believe there should be changes?
I think it's inevitable that more players will come in. I know for a fact that Patrick Pfeiffer is one player that is being looked at. Maybe it's the first time you might have heard his name. It's a towering 6'5" tall defender, a former German youth international. I know for a fact that the Ghanaian football authorities, the FA president and the rest have been in touch with him. They really want him to play for Ghana, and he would be a very, very good addition for our defense. In attack, Antoine Semenyo was not here. It is likely by the World Cup he would be fit enough. Maybe he would even have the chance to play in the qualifiers. And some injured players like Kamal Din Suleimana would have the opportunity to rejoin the team, so we can have a stronger team. And all the time, you see young Ghanaian players emerging everywhere. So I'm certain that the squad will be reinvigorated with a lot of more players. Then people like Andre Ayew, the captain, who was suspended for these 2 matches, as well as Mubarak Wakaso, who's injured, will come back to the squad. So we'll have a stronger squad. And maybe Otto is looking, or the other technical team members are also looking in areas we might not even know. But I know for a fact that there are talks with a lot of players who might join. I don't know what Ghanaians would feel about Mohamed Salisu, given what he has said in the past. But for me, he's a Ghanaian. If he avails himself and the coaches think that he's qualified enough to play for the team, I'll not shut the door at him.
Okay. I mean, Jerome, would you keep the squad as it is?
I think from now to the World Cup is a long time. A lot of things can happen. I agree with Sani on a lot of the things he has said. We just need to sit back, review what has been done, and see who else we can add to the team. Some of the players he has mentioned definitely deserve.
Which one place on the field would you strengthen?
Attack.
Okay. Who is out there?
I don't know for now. But it should be attack.
Okay. Well, so that's a difficult one for the coaches to sort out. I mean, but there are a lot of puzzles still yet unsolved. But tonight, forget about that. Just enjoy yourself as a Ghanaian because you're going to the World Cup. Tomorrow, maybe the e-levy may come back. But tonight, we don't care about the e-levy. It's been put to the back burner. We're just thinking about Qatar. It may be so for the next week or so, depending on how excited you are waking up tomorrow. Indeed. Listen, enjoy the rest of your evening and happy birthday to the president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who celebrated his birthday today. He's had several wins today, and it doesn't come often that you get e-levy pass, you get to go to the World Cup. And all the president will take credit for it. He will, definitely. And then you get to commission your first major project under the Sino Hydro. Indeed, a big happy birthday to him. Enjoy the rest of the evening.